Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and we have quite a special puzzle today because the puzzle has actually come from. This is the second puzzle this creator has actually made, but it's come from a regular viewer of this channel. So, this particular constructor has been enjoying the content, found fantastic puzzles on it, and basically decided to delve into the art of constructing fantastic puzzles. So really, although the name of the puzzle is not called the New Recruit, there's a few reasons why I've decided to go with that name and with this artwork, because I think we now have a new recruit in terms of construction. And the puzzle looks absolutely amazing. So let's take a look at it. So we've actually got Zero Suit by B-Pen. Now, Zero Suit is actually a character in a game, and B-Pen did actually send through some artwork. I decided against using it because the company that created this character is notoriously, let's say, protective of its copyright. And I imagine you'd end up with a copyright strike and being requested to take the content down. So that's why I ended up going also with my own artwork. But if you can see, kind of all of these thermos almost create an outline of this character if you flip between the two. So, really looking forward to that. And to be able to actually put together a puzzle, there's another incredible one that B-Pen sent along that also matches the artwork, even a lot more accurately than this one. So fantastic looking construction. And I just can't believe this solved with so little information on the grid other than the thermos and the XV rules. Well, speaking of rule set, let's take a look at what we have. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so that means the digits 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Fairly traditional. Now, digits cannot repeat along the marked diagonal. You've got a negative diagonal you can see here in the blue line, and it's telling us that digits cannot repeat. Given it's 9 cells long, we know all of the digits 1 to 9 need to be on it. Now, we also have thermos Sudoku rules apply. So you've got to let me pick this thermometer, essentially this line. And the way to sort of understand this rule set is to think of it as a thermometer with this being the bulb end. So lower digits, and then you end up having to go up the thermometer and essentially increasing the temperature, increasing the digits as you go further away from the bulb. So if this, for example, is a 4, then this would have to be 5 or higher. This could be all the way up to 9, 8 or 7. So yeah, 6, 7. And that would be sort of a valid pencil marking of this if this was a 4. Lastly, we have the XV rule set. So digits separated by a V sum to 5. We've got actually quite a few of them throughout the puzzle. These 3 here. And digits separated by an X sum to 10. And we've got these 2 here as well. And all that's saying is these 2 cells, if that's a 1, for example, that needs to be a 4. These 2 cells have to add up to an 8. And in my example earlier, when I had that as a 4, that's a bad example. Let's say that's the 4. Then this side would have to be a 6 to be able to add up these 2 to 10. Now, if you want to give it a go, if you want to go down the adventures of Bomberman, where this particular character is from, if you want to help recruit Zero Suit away from the dark side to instead be solving Sudoku puzzles, link will be in the description down below. And with that said, let me restart the clock and see how we get on. Now, I admit there is an overwhelming amount of information on here, but those 2 V's, I feel like it's an obvious entry point. And my thinking is actually, when I put down 1 and 4, that immediately looked wrong to me. And I'll explain why. So in V's, you can only have, if you want to have 2 cells add up to 5, you can only have a pair of 1, 4 or a pair of 2, 3. But the interesting thing is it's on a thermo. So this can only be 1 or 2. This can only be 3 or 4. If that's a 1, that's a 4. If that's a 2, that's a 3. But notice this digit is also one of these, but it's going to be higher than both of them because it's on a thermometer. So if I go with 1 and 4, I've broken the puzzle because I have to go back down to a 2 or 3. So I think this has to be 2, 3, 4, and then 1 in here, and no other path would actually work. So 4 digits in the first minute, I think, BPen described this as approachable. It feels like it will be. 2, 3 here means this is 1 or 4. 1 or 4, 1 or 4. And then this would be 6 or 9. Although clearly, because you can never have a 9 in the middle of a thermometer, because what would this digit be? 10. So this has to be the 6, therefore this is the 4, this is the 1, and more digits are landing. Along the x's, if you think about a 10, for example, a 10 will always be composed of a low digit, 1, 2, 3, or 4, with its counterpart. The 1 would go with a 9, 8 with a 2, 3 with the 7, and 4 with the 6. So a low digit from 1, 2, 3, or 4, or a high digit from 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now, look at this cell, and again the thermometer pointing the direction of which they increase. So given we've already placed 1 and 4, this can only be 2 or 3, and this can only be 7 or 8 to join with the 2 and 3. Now I think 8 is way too big for the thermometer because that would be 9, and again we're back to 10. So this is 7, this is 3, this is 8, and this is 9. Okay, what else do we know about this puzzle? This 8 is pointing towards a 2 with this 10, this 5 here. This digit must be lower, so it's either 1, which is available, 2 and 3 are not available, or 4. Then we have to finish this with a 2 and 9, I believe. I think a 2 cannot possibly work here. Yeah, 1, 1.5, 2. That's a 9, that's a 2. We have 7, 8, or 9 in here. Just thinking about if I want to pencil mark some of these thermometers, and I think given just their length and just how restricted this box has become, I will do so. So that will be a 3, 4, this cannot be a 5, this is 6, 7, or 8, can't be a 9 because we've already placed that in the box. This can be 5, 6, but not 7, it's already placed, and it can't go any higher than 7. This cannot be a 4, it sees it in the row. It can be a 5, it cannot be a 6. So yeah, it is reasonably restricted. Just taking a look at the box more broadly. 3 is not here either. We place 1, 2. So we need 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm just thinking, is it worthwhile pencil marking some of these? It is tempting, because that's 4, 5, or 6. But we're kind of back to this could be a whole, like all of them. So I'm not going to pencil mark that square for now. What about up here? I feel like this is also somewhat restricted. So this can be a 1. This 2 is not available. This could be a 3. So this is 4 or higher. No, it doesn't feel right. Given how simple the puzzle has been, I should be looking elsewhere. So let's think about this 3, 5 is quite telling. So it means that there's another 3, 5, then 6, 7, and 9. So I can't have a 3 in here. I could have 5, 6, 7, or 9 in there. I have to be higher than 4, so there is no space for the 3 in here. So this is, again, 5, 6, 7, or 9. Now, how high can this be? Or I should say, how low can this be? Can I even put a 3 in here? No. I can't even put a 3 in there, because 3 would mean 2 and 1, and you can see the 2 is repeating. So there is only one place for the 3 in here, and that's there. And then we're back to, well, I guess this will be 5, 6, or 7, and this will be 6, 7, or 9. Look at that, 1, 2, and 3, all looking at this cell, but look at how restricted it is. So the minimum this can be is not, yeah, it is a 4, but the maximum it can be is 5 or 6, because this is 5, 6, 7. And we're slowly building up almost like a triplet / quadruple here. I think this 3, looking at this, means this is 1, this is now 5. And then we're back to, yeah, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. And look at that, we've got a quadruple. And in fact, if I make that a 7, because we've actually got a triplet, if I make that a 7, this will be 8 and 9, and this will break this cell. So this has to be a 6. Because 2 and 3, C in here, and 4, this actually has to be a 5. This has to be a 1. Neither of these are now a 5. Excuse me. We've got a 4, 6 in the puzzle. This has to be the 5, a 4, 6 pair. The 4, 6 pair are looking at this, so that's not 6. Go to 7, 8, 9 triple. That's no longer a 6. That's not a 6 either. So the 7, 8, 9 means we've got, there we go. 9 can't be anywhere in here. That's got to be a 9. That's an 8. That's a 7. And we now know what these are. This is from 3. Well, I'm going to go a bit more specific. This is the 3, and that's a 7, 8 pair. This 7, 8 pair that obviously cannot appear anywhere else in the box have to be down here. Okay. We know what this is now. This is 1, 4, 6. Clearly a 1 cannot start halfway up a thermo. This could be 1, not 2, 3. It can go as high as 4, but no higher with the 5 here and obviously the 6 there. We have a triplet in here of 2, 7, and 8. I don't think this can be an 8. An 8 would require a 9 here, breaking this, so this cannot be an 8. This is 2 or 7. 4, 5 in here means this is reasonably restricted already. 1 and 4 as well. So this is 2 or 3, not 4, and no higher because we've got a limit of 5 in there. This 4... No. Sorry, I'm just trying to think, have I got enough information to move this a bit further forward? And I'm not sure I do, actually. So we've got, am I going to pencil mark these? Maybe. I mean, why not? 6 is, well, we do know what these triplets are, so we may as well do that first. That's 1, 4, 5, I'm going to say. Have to keep in mind the diagonal. There's no 1 in here. 6 is there. I don't really have anything else to pencil mark, I don't think. Other than we know that 1 is here. We also know that 4 is here. I will do that. I admit I'm kind of looking at this puzzle, wondering where next. So, I mean, this is surprisingly restricted because we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 7 all seeing this cell. So this is from 6, 8, or 9. So it's, yeah, surprisingly restricted, but it feels like unless I go around pencil marking a lot more cells, I'm not really sure what's next just yet. So we know one, so we know one is here. It'd be very helpful to know which one is the 4 and which one is the 6. To be able to figure out where do we place some of these digits, but that is not the case. The fact that there is no 1 in here, and we've already pencil marked the 1 in box 1, so we know they're not on this diagonal. We know they're not on this diagonal. 1 has to be in one of 2 places in here. 1 has to be in, look at that, it's forming essentially almost like an X-wing. 1 is in one of 2 places in here as well, kind of alongside this one. Well, it will help before I start pencil marking if I actually pencil mark correctly, such as this wasn't a 7, because there was one staring right at it. So before I go around doing a whole bunch of pencil marks, let me just double check I haven't got silly things around the grid. I really don't think I do. But take a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can do far better than pencil marking, sorry, corner pencil marking. That's 1, 2, and 3. And therefore, we need to have, so 1, 2, and 3. 4 means this has to be the 4, because I can't put the 4 down here on this row, and this has to be the 6. Therefore, this is not a 5. This is 7 and 9. This is getting very restricted now. And these are 6, 8, and 9 to complete the row. And this, therefore, is not 6 and not 9. This is 5 or 7. And this would be another 5 or 7 to finish the box. Now, this is looking very restricted. So we know we need to have a 9 in here between these two. 6 is definitely along this thermal. There's clearly a bit of play between these cells that's going on that I'm just not seeing. 7 on this row, like very restricted. It's only in one of 2 places. 8 can actually be placed. This is the only cell where an 8 can be placed in this box. And therefore this is from 4, 5, or 7. So 6, 7, 8. I feel like I need to take a look at this thermometer now, because this box, so this could be as high as 9, but then it's not 8, it's not 7, it's not 6. This is now 5 as the highest possible digit, and we're already at 4. So this could be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Presumably this could be 2, 3, 4, 5, and it can't be a 3. If I put a 3 in here, this would be a 2, this would be a 1, and then there will be nothing left for this one. So this is, and it can't be a 4, so it's only 5 or 9, because 6, 7, and 8 are not available. Can I eliminate more digits though? I mean, if that's a 2, 1, that would be 3. I think that's fine. If that's a 3, that's the 2, and that's the 1. If that's a 2, that will be 3, and then that will be 4 or 5. Well, 4 is not available on this row anyway. So there's a lot of kind of play between these three. These three can count. I mean, 8 is down here. It's not very helpful. What am I missing? 5 is definitely on the thermal. And the question is it here or there? If it's here, if that's the 5, that's a 2-3 pair, and that would have to be a 1. If it's here, that would be a 9. And this could be, yeah, all of the options we've just pencil marked. So this is not the way to progress the puzzle. What about down here? Well, this can't be an 8 because it's on the diagonal already. So what can this be? This 4 tells us this is a 5. Yeah, maybe time to sort of clean up a little bit here. So what are the remaining options we've got on the diagonal, since I keep ignoring it? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are not available, and 6, 7. Now, these cannot be 1. This is not 6. That's 2, 3, or 7. 2, 3, 6, 7. Can it really be that high? Well, I mean, it can't be a 7 because, I mean, if this is the maximum, it can't be a 6 either. That's 1, 2, and 3. We've got a 1, 2, 3 triplet. Look at that. That's a 4, 5, 6, and then a 7, 9 pair in here. 1, 2, 3, that's clearly not a 1. It's not a 7, it's not a 6, that's 2 or 3. Therefore, this is 1 or 2. And for the moment, this can be anything. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. This is from 7, 8, 9. Although this cannot be a 9. I mean, 7 would put an 8 in here, would force a 9 in here, would put a 7 in there, a 9, a 5, would have a 2, 3 pair, 7, 8 would make that a 2, make that an 8. Kind of seems okay for now. Just, it feels like there's a lot of tension in this whole space. I'm just wondering if the reason I'm not seeing what it is that's breaking is I haven't got quite the right pencil marks yet. So actually this is a 4, this is a 7, this is a 5. 5 now is one of 2 cells. We should be able to tell, oh yeah, this is a 5, obvious now. And therefore this is a 9. This is from 1, 2, and 3. We're building, yeah, these triplets are continuing. So we actually know what these 2 cells are. This is a 5, 9 pair, and we actually know the order. That's the 9, that's the 5. These are not 9, this is now a 7, 8 pair. That's the 9, that's the 7. Yeah, 7, 8 would break this cell. This has to be the 2 now. Therefore, this is the 3. Neither of these are the 3s. That's not a 3. That's not a 7. That's 1, 2, and 6. 7 is now definitely up here. Sorry, I broke something. That was, I said 5, 9 pair. What was it meant to be? What did I not actually place in here? 4. Excuse me. And then the 5 is in here, alongside a 1, 2, 6 triplet, although this is only from 1 or 6. 6 is definitely pointing up here. Can I do better? 1's still everywhere. 3's. Maybe it's not solvable yet until I actually figure out some of these over here. So I'll just keep going. We've got a 2, 3, a 7, 8, and a 6. And over here, we haven't quite got a triplet yet. We do need a 9 somewhere in here. No, still too open-ended. Again, not sure where to look next. I mean, these are not 3s now, because we've already placed it on the diagonal. That's not a 5, that's the 5 now, since we've placed this 5. 7, 8 pair, that's not a 4, that's a 1, 6, almost. That's not a 3. Again with the 3s. Right, so 1, 2, 6, 3. We've placed everything else. So there's a 1, 2, 6 triplet joining the 3, except that's not 1 and that's not 2. There's a 7, 8 in here. Right, we've got a 1, 4, 6 triplet. That's not the 1, therefore. That is the 1. That's the 6. 1. I missed a digit. Excuse me. Yeah, I did miss a digit. 3. 1, 6, not 6. 1, 2 pair, meaning not a 2 up here, and that's the 6. 8, 7. None of these are 6s. I need a 1, 2, 3 with a 9. It's not a 1. I need a 2, 3 with a 9. I need another 2, 3 with an 8. That's not a 3, that's not a 2. Surely I can do better now. No? I'm just surprised I'm not able to solve this yet. Am I just being silly and I'm not seeing like a thermal rule or something? So this is 4 or 6 or 7 and 8. 6 looking at the 4. So we need a 7, 8 with a 9. No 7s. That's the 7. 8, 7. I say no 7s because we've got 2 7s looking at the 2 possible cells here. That's an 8, 9 pair. There's no 1. Again, just the 3. 1, 2. One, 2, 4. So we've got another, well, no 1s. We've got a 2, 4, and a whole bunch of things. 6 and 7, it seems. 7 can only be in here. 7. And then 2, 4, 6. Except that's not a 4. Well, I've pencil marked the entire grid. Now I just need to pay attention to what does it all mean. Such as this 6 looking at this 3. Such as 2, 6 now. 2, 6 means the 4 has to be up here as well. That's the only place the 4 could be. Therefore, that's a 1, 2, 1, 6, 2, 6. These are not 1s. This is the only place for a 1 now. 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. This is now a 3, 9 pair, not a 2, 3, 9 pair. This 3 is telling us though what it is. That's the 9, that's the 3. We need 2 and 8 in here. That's the 8, that's the 2. The 1 down there is telling us this is the 4, the 1. This is known. This is an 8. That's an 8 therefore. That's the 9. That's the 6. Excuse me, 6. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's the 9 and the solution to today's puzzle. Beautiful puzzle. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, I mean, it is involved. So I think the initial break-in, you get a load of digits fairly quickly. In the first 5 minutes, we basically had all of these almost pretty much done. And some of these, to be fair. But then you really have to use a diagonal. You have to squeeze it for all it's worth to basically be able to kind of solve all of this, unwind these 1, 2, 3s that just kept going all the way until the end. Admittedly, some of that was just my fault for not seeing obvious pencil marks, but yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful puzzle. I can't believe that's just your second puzzle, B-Pen. And I will certainly go back and take a look at puzzle 1 next. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you back for the next one. Bye for now.